Hello guys, my name's Sammy Lloyd, owner of Lloyd Trucking based out of Ringo, Georgia. I've been trucking for 20 years, been an owner operator now for the last 6 years. I also run a trucking YouTube channel called Make Sense to help the owner operators succeed in the tough industry that we call trucking. When I formed my authority back in 2017, it was a huge learning curve coming from a truck driver of 17 years to an owner operator and then 3 years later to form my authority. The biggest challenge I ran into was not knowing the lanes. And not being familiar with all the lanes, I didn't know what to charge. I didn't know how to go up to the negotiating table with all these brokers. Shortly after I formed my authority, I started looking at load boards. I ran across the Truckers Edge Pro. As soon as I got to using it, I realized it gave me the 15-day average for any lane anywhere in the nation, whether I was familiar with it or not. And something I run into a lot of the time is I see a load on the board. I call the broker and they say, yeah, I'm trying to push this load for $800. And they say, what do you need on it? And I'm looking over here on the 15-day average, and the 15-day average on this particular load might say $1,200. The drivers that don't have this tool and they take the face value of what the broker says, not knowing that they're leaving another $400 on the table. Whether you're familiar with the area or not, you're going to have the competitive edge when negotiating with the brokers for that load you're looking at. That's why I tell people all the time, it costs you more money not to have these tools. Another one of my favorite tools, everybody knows that I love the 15-day average, but there's another tool that I love with DAT, and that's the little green check mark that we all see. And a lot of people may ask, what is that? What that is, that shows you that Triumph Business Capital will factor that load. There's no going to another site, going from that platform to another one, eating up a lot of time, checking credit to see if your factoring company will use them. I'm set up with Triumph Business Capital for that main reason. They are partners with DAT. They got the check mark. By looking at this load, I know I can factor that load. So that's got to be my second favorite tool. When you become a carrier and you're an owner operator, the number one reason you're doing that is to make money. You want to be profitable. You got to get from point A to point B, drop that load, grab another load, and keep going. If you can take the time spent in between loads and push it down to here, then by the week's end, you're going to turn 4 or 5 loads versus 1 or 2, and it's just going to make you a lot more money. With DAT, you can always look into the other markets you're going to. That way, you can always keep that truck rolling in a hot market and hot market and hot market. Sometimes you've got to be a mechanic before you're a truck driver. Sometimes you got to be a financial planner before you're a truck driver. Sometimes you've got to do a lot of things before you're a truck driver, being a truck driver at the end of the day. Big tool that DAT offers, it helps me dispatch my truck. It helps me know the information's on all these loads from point A to point B and keep my truck moving and rolling in a profitable area. With DAT, there's very little time my truck's sitting.